One that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. No. Suicide. If you ever try to let go. Yeah, I'm sad and low. Yeah, I'm sad, I know. Yeah, who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. No. Suicide. If you ever try to let go. Yeah, I'm sad and low. Yeah, I'm sad, I know. Yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's the finale, okay? We made it. A lesser man and woman would have left a long time ago, but we're here, and I'm happy that we made it all the way to the finale of season 2 of The Last of Us. This might be the last of the show for me, regardless of what's coming out, because I'm tired. But it's not just me here being tired. Some of us may be more tired than others. Some of us may have enjoyed this finale. We never know until we get there. But Ashley, how are you doing? Are you ready to get into the episode?
Oh, I'm amazing. I'm doing well. But this is the last time they'll play on my top. This is the last time they'll play with my emotions, my heart. This is the last time I will give them the time of day, Tyra. But I'm amazing. I'm ready to get into it. And remembering our heroes on today because it is Memorial Day, but that's not going to stop this work from coming. Anybody can get it. This is a warning. I apologize in advance. If you are sensitive and have a delicate sensibility or nature, it might not be a good idea for you tonight on this live. But I'm ready, Tyra, and I'm amazing. Hope everyone else is doing well.
Dom, how you feeling? Are you ready to get into The Last of Us?
I'm ready. Let me get out the way, Ashley. Though I didn't. She came to play. I'll make sure I'm at the blast radius. But but no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm balanced. I'm balanced. I had some good, had some bad. I'm here for it.
And last but not least, Quana, are you ready to get into The Last of Us?
Um, yeah, I'm ready. I wasn't ready for this mess that we got, but I'm ready. I'm ready to talk trash.
You know what? Quana says that, and then she'll be like, "Oh, wait, I found something." She always finds some type of bright spot somewhere. Just give her a moment. But you guys, make sure that you are hitting that like button. Be sure that you are letting us know what you felt about this episode, and maybe even what you feel about going into another season. Because at the moment, I could care less. But let's start here, okay? We're gonna start with these overall thoughts. Because how about I can't die here because I'm going to be a father. I was like, oh. Famous last words, Jesse. I was like, oh God, I know you ain't gonna make it. You're definitely not gonna make it talking like this, Jesse. But my overall thoughts were that this entire season was a waste of time. I wish I could go back. It's not as bad as Mayfair Witches. It's somewhere beyond it. But it's not great either. It's just It's hard to swallow how you could jump from season 1 to here. It's abysmal. It's downright disturbing and disgusting. I really want to know what happened because it's very unfortunate that they took something that was so great that I was looking forward to so hard and just ruined it and managed to do it in 7 episodes too. That's his talent. I didn't like any of this. I hated this finale like with a passion. There was nothing great about it. Just like everything else with this show, it was very predictable. It was very pretentious and real annoying, just like Ellie's, attitude and sometimes her face. It just was awful. Everything was flat. I just couldn't wait for it to be over so I could get here and we can get her done. Kwana, what were your overall thoughts of this episode?
Sigh. I don't have words. And as someone who has been a lover of zombie media for a long time, it usually takes us some time to fall off this much. I get the point that this particular episode was trying to make. The problem is that they dragged it. Really was like 2 semi-decent episodes at the beginning, and then 4 episodes of filler, and then this. It took a long time to get to that. R.I.P. Jesse. I don't know what else. There's nothing else. There's nothing. I have nothing. I haven't found it yet, Tyra. I haven't found it yet.
There's still time. There's still slides to be slid.
There is.
Ashley, overall thoughts of this episode?
It was terrible. It was abysmal. It was gross. It was vile. You know what? You know what it is? You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened, Tyra. This is what hubris look like. This is what happens when you get the big head. When you think, oh, we made beauty, we made artwork. So this second season, I don't have to do too much, and it's gonna eat because I'm him, I'm her. Neil Druckmann, we should have words. We should have a personal conversation after this. No, it was not the Last of Us that they have made us accustomed to, right? I didn't see a clicker. I didn't see a stalker. I didn't see a bloater. I didn't see no fresh action. You gave me a shipwrecked Ellie. You gave me a Decimus Maximus child, right, with the thumb down. You gave me almost hanging unaliving, which ended before it even started. You gave me a damn Jesse who is apparently a super swimmer, a super soldier of some kind who went out. You gave me an unaliving that didn't even have the stank on it that I needed to be a revenge kill. I hated everything about this episode. I hated the lackluster performances. I hated the way that it dragged. I hated the arbitrary stadium at the end with this whole Soylent Green moment. I hated everything about this from start to finish. I hated the look on Ellie's face as soon as we walked in. I hated it. I hated Jesse's fake annoyance. I hated him acting like he pretended to care. I hated Dina. No, I don't need any meds. I hated everything about it. I cringed. I clutched my pearls. I might have even said a few cuss words. I hated. I hated the performances. I have nothing good to say, and we'll get into all of it, but I have nothing good to say, Tyra. Hated it. But yeah, this is hubris. This is what happens when you smell yourself. This what this is.
Yeah. Dom, overall thoughts of the episode.
You'll make me follow that. All right.
I'll call you first.
Okay. Let me start by saying the things I didn't like before I wade into the water. This episode was I did not hate this episode. I don't think a lot of the things that this episode gave us that I think did well, but the problem is I don't think it built up to it. Because the rest of the season still happened, and so I don't think it earned a lot of this stuff. But what I liked was the fact that now I don't know the games, and I'm on record saying that I don't care how accurate it is. Just tell me the story. And so whether or not it's a deviation or not, I like the fact that I like what they did with Ellie. Yeah, I like that it was atypical. I know, but I like what they did with Ellie, and we can get into it as we go through the episode. But the arc that they gave Ellie, this episode put it in a different context for me, and I looked at it differently. And actually, this episode made me like Abby more, because I was like, "Oh, that's the Abby that y'all been building up." The way she was at the end of the episode, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's the badass that y'all been telling me she is." A leather jacket does wonders for somebody's aura. Um, I did not hate this episode. I did not like Ellie. I hated Ellie from start to finish. I think that was deliberate. I think we're not supposed to like Ellie. And I like what she's doing. So yeah, I didn't hate it.
The way you dug for all of that should be studied because hell no. Thank you so much, Dane, for the $2. Salute people. Tower back with her Cricket Wireless. If anything is skipping or messing up, it don't have nothing to do with me. And I ain't had a Cricket Wireless since the 5th grade. Okay, mind your business. Yeah, Dom, hold that line. Somebody on the panel has to hold it. You made it your job this entire time. Keep holding it. Don't give up now. We've made it this far. Because the way I can't even be mad at you because you dug for that. It felt like it hurt for you to say it, but we're gonna just act like it didn't happen. We're nursing wounds here. I was like, oh, we gotta really sit here and look at Ellie's back, but Jesse's standing there like, oh, so you hoes think I'm stupid, huh? I'm putting cases on all. So y'all really think I'm stupid? Y'all really think I'm stupid? I was done with this season already. I was really, really done. I think that episode, I don't know if that was 5 or 6, where I was like, I feel like we are going to have Ellie get to the point and kind of have a change in the trajectory and the cycle and this complex of, well, I'm not that, and I'm going to get here in front of these folks and not actually kill anybody or have intentions to kill anybody, especially when it comes to Abby. And that's exactly what the hell we got here. This was the beginning of that for me because we're nursing the back and are you okay and this and that and this, I just beat her and got this, this information and all of this, and I don't like who I'm becoming. Like, wasting our time. Ellie, I could give a damn. Dina, please go away. Like, the best thing that could have happened was just a nuclear bomb just dropping right on this theater so everybody could just be put out of their misery. I just hated all of it. It was just to see Jesse, because we only brought Jesse back here just so we could have somebody pack Dina's ass back to that theater because she couldn't do it. The man in her life couldn't do it, so we needed to bring Jesse back just to do that. But now that we've done that, we really don't have any more use for you and all this. I don't want this, and I don't need any. Yeah, okay, whatever. But bottom line, if you're watching, Jesse is probably the brightest one in this bunch. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. You don't want this, you don't want liquor, you don't want this, and you just have to live like you have a different purpose than you had before you left. Yeah, I'm gonna be a father. Are you serious? I was done with the episode before it started. Quana?
The problem, I like Jesse. I like Jesse. Because you got to have people who got some good common sense in these kinds of environments. And we have unfortunately seen the unraveling of any kind of common sense that Ellie may have had. And Dina only has common sense every other day. So I like Jesse. The problem I have with what they did here was they tried to make it be this, love triangle dynamic. And then here comes Jesse Trump saying, you know what? I really don't care. Y'all trying to act like I'm dumb. Old girl is pregnant. You over here causing chaos. I don't care about any of this. I'm just that man who's trying to do what's good for my community. And I like that. I think we need somebody who's grounded like that. It just feels like we don't care. I think if we cared about Ellie and Dina at all, maybe we could have gotten invested in the whole love triangle of it all. It would have been cutesy, but it just wasn't cutesy. So why even put that in there? So that just infuriated me because I don't think he cares. I don't know why they wanted us to make us think that he would be jealous for a few seconds, but I don't think he cares about this. He's like, I care because now I had to get out of my nice warm bed and come traipsing across all, God knows where to come after your little stupid tail when I could have been home safe and sound, getting on with the little Hispanic chick or whoever he said he got with, who came in through town. I don't know why we needed to kind of pander to this whole every story has to have a love triangle dynamic. If they weren't really going to go for that here and give us that, then just don't even tease it. Just let it not be an issue.
You know what it was for me, Quana? It was Jesse like, you mean Dina, who's never met a damn drink she didn't like in her life. She don't want no liquor. Not this good time, gal. She not thirsty. I know what's going on here. Like, tell us without telling us, Jesse. I just wish they not only let Jesse be grounded. I don't know. There's like a tendency to kind of not emasculate the man, but try to always make sure at all times they are on the same level. Like we have to pretend in our minds that Ellie and Jesse are on the same level mentally and physically, and we have the same capability. Because I could be a dad just as much as you can. Matter of fact, I can protect my woman just as much as you can. You can't. You can't, and I just can't. The only thing that would have made Jesse better, because I think if you were paying attention, we knew Jesse wasn't making it out of this episode with all those damn red herrings, is if he really laid into her. If he would have looked at Ellie and said, are you stupid or what? Like, let him go off on her. Let's really go toe to toe. If you want to be that, let's do that. I'm not about to pretend with you and handle you with kid gloves. Save your life, but in the same breath, have you tell me why you're okay and why you don't need me. Girl, get the hell out of my face. Damn, I'm gonna come to you because you be acting like you don't like to go after Ashley.
No, okay. So, like you said, I agree that I agree with all of that. But I think that what I think is different is I don't think the show is trying to tell us or make it seem like Ellie is on the same level as Jesse. I think Ellie is. I think, and
Just let you digging up holes.
well, no, because I think, and I like the fact that even everything Ellie says, the show never backs up, and I think that's the difference and the distinction, and why it's showing Ellie in a specific light versus the show like promoting this point of view, because Ellie wants to be the top dog. She wants to be just as strong as all the men in the compound. She wants to do everything herself. She wants to be responsible. She wants to be seen as mature. But at every crossroad, at every juncture, she doesn't. And it's proven wrong. And it's proven that she's not as capable as she wants to be. And every time somebody got to come and save her. So I'm like, I feel like that's the arc of Ellie. That's part of the arc of Ellie this season. Mm-hmm. is leaping before she looks, and even with the love triangle thing.
Because you are reaching, you are searching, you out in the outer limits, trying to grab a branch. Kind of like, well.
No, it's because I had a point while y'all was talking and then I forgot it. So I was trying to remember. But no, I just think that the show, I think that just because a character says something, even the main character, just because they do something, say something, that doesn't mean that the show is co-signing or saying that it's right. That's just that character's point of view, and the character being woken up or getting a reality check is part of the arc and part of the growth. And I think that's what we see Ellie get to at the end of this episode, is she realizes that she's not on Jesse's level. And I don't think, that's what it was, because I definitely don't think the men get emasculated in the show. I don't think that the women get artificially propped up either. I think it's just Ellie. I think it's just Ellie that wants this position. She wants to be Joel. She wants to do everything that Joel did. She wants to be just as capable as Joel was, and you're not. And she don't like anybody telling her that she's not. That's why she got upset when she was training and old dude hit her. And he was like, yeah, I did pull my punch. He was like, don't do that. She got overly offended because this grown man would have slept you with one fist, and she got offended at that she needed that handicap. And so I think that's Ellie's point of view, but not the show's point of view. That's all I'm saying.
Every single cast member, every other person surrounding Ellie feeds into that narrative. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think so.
I am going to read this super chat. Thank you so much, Dane, for the $2. So Ashley admitting Bella Ramsey has a big face. When did she say that?
I just said I didn't like the look on her face in this episode. That's what I said, Dane.
She don't have to admit nothing. I'll say it. She does. She has a very big face. It's a big face, big thumb. Looks like a foot.
Makes it right.
It's one of those faces like a Glenn Close, Meryl Streep face. It's like a particular face.
That's the celebrity. That's the celebrity you want to compare her to, right?
That's
okay.
Right.
Anyway, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. No. just absolutely not. So here's the problem and the issue with Ellie's character as a whole. Because I saw in the comments, I was reading as everyone was talking, and you guys are like, well, this is the game, this is the progression of the game. It's not so much the material, it's in the execution for me. It's in the acting, it's in the execution, and it's the placement and the storyline of it all for me. With Ellie's character, by the end of 2 seasons, I expect her to be way more developed than she is. There has been almost this pattern of regression that I've seen in her character from the end of season 1 to now, basically all of season 2. And I could chalk some of it up to grief, but this other part is just stupidity. I think the story suffers as she's on this path to self-discovery. Because here's my thing. If you're going to be what we say, John Wick, if you're going to be the Terminator, if you're going to be out here getting it back in blood, I need you to be fully committed to that thing. If you are going to be top cop and the man of the house, I need you to stand on business when Jesse comes, not tow down like, oh, okay, Jesse. It didn't give the Ellie we even saw in season 2, episode 1, where she was in that fighting scene. Like, Jesse, what did I tell you about doing that to me? Don't do that. It gave, oh, I'm sorry, Jesse. You're the man. You're right. I'm not cut out. I need Ellie to pick a lane and stick to it. And Dom will probably say it's because of her age, it's her post-adolescent idealistic phase. I don't care, Mom. I hate everything about it because it's like, stick to it. I need something. Even in the wavering, it falters for me because she's never all of one thing. It's like she's always floundering, and it's just annoying at this point because she's getting nothing done. You were so self-satisfied in that basement as you saw that heifer inhale all of the spores and turn into a cordyceps and like, I'm that one. And now you're here crying about it. Go to hell. Go directly to hell, Ellie. Like, I just don't believe you. And again, it's not so much the game and all of that for me. It's in the way that they're executing the story on our screens. This could have been something, right? And then Jesse getting there and pretending that he might be a little bit upset at Dina when he's in love with a whole other woman. I didn't need the discourse. I didn't need the awkwardness in the conversation. I'm not going to die for them, Ellie, and I'm not dying for your ass. I'm taking Dina back right now. I didn't need any of the subtext here. Get it over with, and let's get to the damn island with Abby and the other 90210 Avengers. That's all I needed. I didn't need any of that, and I feel like when you're giving us the finale, not only should we have a cliffhanger, there should be suspense, and there should be a pace and a momentum to the episode, and this was just dumb all the way through. I did not care all of the way through. And that's really my ultimate problem with Ellie. I went from adoring this character, caring about her journey, where she was going to end up, how she was going to make it, how we're going to get this retribution mission, how it's all going to be accomplished. And like Tyra said, in a matter of 7 episodes, they managed to ruin it completely. It took me 4 episodes in season 1 to like Ellie like that. You know what I mean? Now to get here and now I hate her. Like, at the end, I'm rooting for her to go to black. Like, oh, other than the fact that she holds the cure for the world, kill her. I don't give a damn. That's how bad it is for me. I didn't need any of that first scene. Thank you.
Dom, from you, I would like to know, and y'all let me know if I'm still lagging in that chat. I do not know. I can't tell on my end. Why did this turn into the CW, and why did we need a love triangle? Because from my understanding, all of these things that we really don't like, you guys are saying, well, that's not even in the game like that. Like, well, Jesse's really not that important in the game. Dina was never actually here in the game. Why choose this? Because this is very CW and very off brand for the Last of Us universe. Why are you trying to take us over there and be teenagers? Huh?
I know I'm gonna get killed for this. I reject the premise that it turned into that. I don't think that the love triangle thing lasted any significant amount of time before it was immediately erased. Like, we thought that that was what Jesse was upset about until he talked about it, and he was like, "Actually, I don't really care," and he explained why he's actually upset. Ellie thought that, and that's the thing. The show is predominantly from Ellie's point of view, so we're getting a lot of information filtered through her perspective, and so we don't learn a lot of stuff until it's told to her. He didn't care. He cared that Ellie got everybody over here, and he don't even know that Ellie lied and got everybody over here under false pretenses yet. But the fact that she was selfish and got everybody over here and put everybody in danger is what he's upset about. And surely after he found out he got his unborn child out here in danger, that's what he's upset about. And as soon as the confrontation came, that's what we were revealed to. It was just Ellie. Ellie can only think about things through a certain lens, so that's the lens she thought about it through.
Well, this was very much this for me. And I don't even care if it was here briefly. It shouldn't even exist. We should even have time for this. Like, why? And I don't want you guys to misinterpret us wanting to care about Ellie, her arc, with her needing to be likable. Some of my favorite characters are the most disgusting human beings ever. If you look at Joel, in a sense, Joel isn't the most likable person either, but he has attributes to go, you know what? I can't stand this about Joel, but I love this about Joel. This is outweighing this one thing. There's nothing about Ellie that I like at all. Not even a little bit. And even if it was just like, oh, that is crazy. But when it comes down to it, Ellie's going to handle business. Ellie's good at combat. Ellie's good at something. What are you good at? What are you useful for besides getting bit? Like, I don't know. Like, she doesn't need to necessarily be likable, but we do need to hold a certain interest for her. Ellie is our lead.
Come on.
Ellie is the lead character on this show. As much as y'all want to tap on Dina's shoulder, or well, where's time? This is about Ellie at this point, and we're shifting it from the looks of it to be about somebody else in the next season, and I can understand why. But at this moment, we are supposed to be solely focused on her journey, and what she needs to accomplish, which was at the start getting revenge for this man that we way beyond that. At this point, it feels like we lost the plot. Like, why are we even here? We're trying to get back to it when we spent, 5 minutes dancing down Main Street for episodes, having a good time and, having sex and doing this and doing that. Yeah, whatever. This whole pregnancy arc is trumping a lot of the other things that are more so interesting in the show. Like, where are the other things? It felt like they gave us that second episode. Say, okay, we're going to put all the infected and the bloater and we're going to put it all right there. And then we're not going to give you anything else. Even if you wanted to give us like the Seraphites or just anything, this was trash. This turned into a little teen dating drama. I don't come to The Last of Us for that. Quana?
I was gonna say I figured it out. I figured it out while I was ruminating. I figured it out. It's what I've been saying the whole season. It's the time jump and it's the execution of the time jump. And I'm almost saying 10 toes down on it. Because if I'm not mistaken, like people been saying, Dina wasn't really here like that. And I think in giving us the time jump the way that they did, instead of figuring out a way to show us more about what their life was like in Jackson over the 5 years, and perhaps showing Dina and Ellie's relationship having been in some type of development prior to episode 1 of this season, because we didn't really see her like that. We don't, it's like episode 1, boom, we got to make this a thing, and somehow between now and then she is in love. And we know that Ellie is someone who she was very reserved in giving up affection. And the whole storyline with Jesse is him telling her, you got to care about your people, and your people can't just be one person. You got to care about the community. So it should have never been Dina on this journey with her. It should have been Tommy. That should have been a relationship that was getting developed between here and there. It should have been her and Tommy, like wanting to seek revenge, but Tommy has stakes. And so he could have been kind of unpacking some of that and unpacking how he was torn between going after this dude who killed his brother, but he also got a wife and a kid back at the homestead. And he could have been helping her develop some of this. It didn't need to be Dina. Because at the end of the day, I just don't really know. Like when Jesse says, maybe had my epiphany was this thing that you put up, Tyra. I love Dina, but not like you do. But does she though? Why do we really think like Dom said? It's because she's telling us that. She's telling us that she loves her, but there's nothing that there's not been enough lived experience that she's had with Dina to make us believe she loves Dina. We could believe she loved Joel because we saw that relationship develop and play out. We didn't see this. We saw them hunch for 2 seconds in episode 3, and suddenly she the daddy, I'm the pappy, and now they in love. And so it doesn't feel, that's why it feels CW-ish, because it doesn't feel earned, because all of those relationships are flaky. And so this was never giving that. This was giving, we're showing characters develop, and they just threw that out.
Mm-hmm. I will say, when I get into kind of like the absentee of the male characters, because we want these women to be in the forefront, we put Dina here for this reason. We didn't want Tommy there. They're trying to show, like I was saying, that she doesn't need anybody. Ellie can stand on her own. We're going to be like, and it's not that. You guys can't. It looks like, two 12-year-olds are running through the forest. It's just never going to give that. If they wanted Tommy here, we could have saw like the combat. Like, first of all, it just feels like the show is moving like they're on a time crunch. Like, are you only getting 3 seasons? Are you? Because this could have been them picking up right where they left off in Us and Jackson. That would have benefited the story so much. Building up Ellie in her training in a natural way, her relationship all the way through the breakdown with Joel, that would have helped. So that's a whole season. Like I said, that freaking episode where we lost Joel, that could have been the last episode, and we could have picked up from there. And with these shows normally taking a 2-year break, this Ellie, Bella Ramsey that we have her now, could be, evolved in a whole different way and make something, more believable than what we're getting now. It's just like we need to rush, like we have somewhere else to be. And I'm like, does she have another project that she's going to do to where we want to put the Abby character in the front, or Dina? Like, let us know so we know where we need to be. Ashley, CW.
Yeah. A couple things I think were at work here. All right. They knew, the creators, the showrunners, the writers all knew, I'm pretty sure, that Ellie in and of herself could not sustain the series. Outside of Joel, she and Joel work together, which is clear. But in the absence of Joel, Ellie doesn't work. She's not strong enough as a character in terms of who they've developed. I think she could have, had she been written better this season, but she doesn't. And so I know they had to throw something else in there, but the CW 90210 of it all, with these young, hip, trendy kids like on with their mercenaries, add this love triangle. It almost gave pandering to me, and I because it was so on the nose and it was so just at the forefront of everything. It almost took the front seat to what the story should have been, which is Ellie's self-discovery, which is her quest to avenge Joel, to reconcile her emotions based on how she treated him, and not getting the closure and watching him be unalived. Like, that's to me where the heart of the story was. That's what I wanted to follow. I wanted to follow, I'm going to get it back at all costs. These are the things I'm running into as I'm on this quest. Honestly, personally, for me, I could have completely done without a Dina character and had her on the road with Jesse and the lumberjack. Her, Tommy, and Tara would have worked for me. Anybody would have been more compelling to service Ellie, because honestly, not for nothing, no disrespect to Merced, Dora, Dina, the actress who plays her, but when you have 2 flat characters, it just does not work. I think that in order for Ellie's, and like you said, guys, it's not about us liking her per se. It's about us feeling something for her character and wanting to see a well-developed character go through the story of the show, and that's just she doesn't give she was not strong enough on her own, and Dora the Explorer is not either. And you had all this talent. You have evil Kevin McAllister's mama, you had a Tommy, you had a Jesse, like I said, even the damn lumberjack, even Tara over there, which were wasted a ton for me and would have made, to me, better ride out partners, because then we didn't have to contend with you dealing with your love sex emotion, love sex robots, Tyra. We didn't have to deal with that on the road then. I don't know. It just took away to me from the integrity of the story. And, you know, if this did happen, fine, but we know that the show is not following canon directly. That's been established. So, I mean, what the hell? For all y'all in the comments, oh my gosh, this is part of the game, whatever. But clearly they're not sticking to the game fully. So they could have given us good TV like they did in season 1 for me.
They could have. That lovely couple. A lot of the things that we loved about the first season were not in the game. It just felt like this season, you know, and I would never go like the message, but it did feel very messagey. Like we want, pride and Ellie's sexuality, and I can be a dad too, even in the apocalypse, in the forefront rather than the arc of vengeance. It was just, what we're here for. Like, let's go. Thank you so much, Inez, for the $5. Ashley, facts, Ashley. I wanted Ellie to be strange fruit.
From poplar trees. You hear me? From poplar trees. Yes. All that.
That would have been nice, but we wanted it to be a CW show. I was like, why are we here? We don't care, and he don't care neither. This pissed me off. I wanted him to snatch her down and punch her in her fucking face. Like right in the nose. Remember when you said she was in the barn? Like, no, hit me with your full force. Like, hit her with your whole fist, because sit your whole ass down. This made me mad. We already got certain things established on the walk in Dina in the pregnancy. Oh, you were guessing? Oh, well, yeah. Let her tell you and just let it be natural. I didn't mean to say anything about that. All right, just shut up and stop talking. We get here. We already have her picking up a book for her son. I don't know, whatever. We get here and the Seraphites, one of them, a young Seraphite, is being captured by the wolves. And you're going to take your happy ass over there and do what? And give away our location. And do what exactly? So you sit down. Oh, he's a wee lad. It's a chat. Like, I don't know why we're having all these stupid inconsistencies with her character, because this is the same Ellie when that little girlfriend of hers got shot with the arrow, and when she saw those guts being slid out of a wolf, she could barely breathe because, oh, it's really real out here. You were going to do what? This I'm better than you kind of, not even superior complex, but I have this morale to where we're only killing these sort of people and I'm only doing this. And at heart, it's really about no, I really wanted Jesse to lay into her ass. I love how he said, oh, I ain't vote for you. I ain't vote for none of that madness. I voted against you because this is stupid. And this was always about you. I just wish that she would swallow that. I thought when we stood up and gave that speech and we knew it was fake and we knew it wasn't Ellie, I thought that was where it was going to stop. The moment we got on the road and got on the back of Shimmer, I was like, yeah, remember Shimmer? He's all right. Did you go feed him last? Like when she's over there harboring, oh, well, how did you find us? How did you get because you guys, were so stealth, it was so hard to find you. But it's just like this was always a selfish situation. It's never been about community. It's never been about anything. Like, why would I sign up for this? The best thing we could do is go find Tommy and go the hell back home. Like, I really don't like this character. I really don't like this character. And it would be different if you were that girl, if you could go out there against all 6 of those wolves and handle business. No, you're not that. It's never been that. What you're going to do is go do what you always do. Step out on faith, be a goddamn liability. Then I got to bring my muscle-bound ass over here to save you. Like, I don't want to die. It's like, I don't want to die. I want to go home. I have things to live for at home, and I might, be a whole dad. I don't want to go home, Ellie. I don't want to die here with you or for you. Let's get the hell out of here. We have her establish how she's so different. And then we have the conversation of Tommy's here, where Abby's there. Well, Tommy would have wanted me. You don't know that. You don't know that. I would have loved for Tommy to have been here on this journey, left Dina where the hell she was, and we have moments of just, spat and conversation and like, oh, we're not going to do that because I'm not Joel. I do this and we're going to do this. Like, that would have been so full. Like, get some tension because goddamn her and Dina are the same goddamn person, minus a couple of pieces of hair. I didn't like this. I did not like this, and the best thing that could have happened was for him to punch her in her face so we can really feel it. Okay. How many hairs grew in your balls just then when I punched you in your face for being stupid? I didn't like it. Stop doing this. I was irritated. Ashley.
Yeah. You know what? This is another failure of the show for me because I enjoy when a character is self-righteous and then is in a situation where they come face to face with that of all the things that I wouldn't do and I couldn't do because I'm this, and then turn around and do it. But it was bad. It was so bad. Y'all, it didn't land, and I'm not going to tell y'all how to do it, but I can tell you Handmaid's Tale did it over there. They did it for a couple seasons. They showed you how to do it right. So I would go over there and take some notes because it could have been special. I think they've had so many opportunities in the story to really make compelling TV, and it's all felt flat. Cause what is you doing? You finna jump out. You big and bad. You finna go against the wolf pack, who all have semi-automatic weapons. You can't see what's outside around this corner. You hear them talking though, don't you, Ellie? But you Billy Badass. You're gonna jump up and you're gonna take them down, are you? Because it's just a kid, Ellie. You're a child, ma'am, sir. You're a child. It's so infuriating to watch her character. I too wanted Jessie to be from the Slap-a-Hoe tribe and just give her a good one. Like, wake up, ho. Wake up. What is you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because ultimately, any revenge mission, which is why I respected John Wick, right? Because he goes out and does it independently because he's capable of it. Ellie was never capable of this. This was always going to be a widow-making mission for anybody who went alongside her. Now, what I was hoping was that Dina would get gangrene or sepsis or some sort of condition and that she would end, right? Because they have no problem killing pregnant women, obviously. So why not take her out if we're going to have all this collateral damage? Because that's what comes when you're on one of these vendetta missions. The person who has to accomplish the mission, they're always safe. It's the people who come up beside them and try to support them that are the casualties of war. I hate how this was so on the nose with Jessie. I gotta live for my son. I'm not gonna die for them, Ellie. I wanted him to say, I'm not gonna die for you either, ho. Like, let me just knock you over the head, handcuff you, put you on the back of Shimmer, and let's ride on back to Jackson. Because no one's finna waste time with you. And it even gets worser as the story goes on. Of course, when we talk to Dina and she explains what Joel did, oh, we're going home. So, ho, you could have been gone home. Like, what are we doing here? This was such a waste. If you have a singular focus, Ellie, and your focus is you want to avenge Joel because through the ups and the downs, he was your father and you loved him, stick to that. All this extra, and girl, go back home. Go back home to Jackson and play that moth guitar and get out of everyone's hair and business and don't get nobody else unalived. I felt like this was dumb. I too was angered, Tyra. Because what you gonna do, Ellie?
Hit her in the face. Hit her in the face. I just want to keep that same energy. You want to be one of the guys, I'm gonna punch you in your ish. Because what you're not gonna do is jeopardize my life. But this will be that same show that'll feed us this whole ass propaganda. And then if he punches her in her shit, I'm a girl. Get out of my face. Dumb.
When this episode ended and I was kind of writing out my thoughts, the first thing I wrote was can HBO, can a show sustain itself if the main character has no redeeming qualities intentionally? Like, it's not like, because I stand on the fact that I think all of this is intentional and deliberate, and they want Ellie's character to be characterized like this. I can't think of another show that's done it like this, because even when you have shows who have characters that aren't good people, like House of Cards, Frank Underwood is not a good person, but he has redeeming qualities. He has qualities that I'm like, man, I wouldn't use that for that purpose, but I like the way you maneuvered around here and stuff like that. And so morally, he wasn't right, but he still was compelling, and I like aspects about him. And so, and people saying Breaking Bad, I ain't seen Breaking Bad. So probably that one. But but all of this and all of these complaints are to me valid and true. But I just think that's so what I think is, I think when Joel died and we heard Ellie scream and we saw the terror on her face and the anger that came from her, I think everybody, and maybe everybody who hadn't played the game, but just us viewing, we're like, all right, cool, John Wick time. And the rest of the season was going to be vengeance and vendetta. And the show, I think, was like, no, I don't think. I don't think the show is deviating from the story. I don't think that's the story. I think that the story is Ellie's self-discovery, but it's not the story of vengeance. Every step of the way in every episode, we get more and more proof that Ellie's just not a good person. Like just deep down, she's not a good person. She hasn't done a selfless thing all season. Everything she's done has been manipulative and selfish and only towards her personal goal. Damn, whatever happens as a result of it. And I think that is the what she and she comes to faith. And so I think that's why some of this stuff is overt. Like with Jesse says to her, in the theater, like, oh, I came back for you because I thought, if it was me, you would have burnt the city down for me. And so I came back for you. And Dina, and I think that's Dina's purpose too. At first, I thought Dina's purpose was to die. But now I'm seeing that everybody in Ellie's life is now somebody that she is guilty for. It's somebody that she's wronged in some way, because everybody's out here for a lie. Everybody's in Seattle because Ellie lied to them. And now somebody has died and she got to live with that. And now Abby back and is even heightened. So that's where I think and I'm not saying they executed it perfectly, because I still got my same complaints for the season preceding this, but I think for where they're trying to go, I like this episode. That's all I'm
saying. Okay, I get it, Dom. If they don't want to be on John Wick, y'all want to be on Kill Bill. Hell, y'all don't want to be on the Equalizer type revenge time. And cool, we're not even on 12-year-old Leon the Professional, Natalie Portman time, and it's just nothing. Quana?
I can't get over this. I can't get over the time jump, because growth would have happened, and I can't get past it, because I just feel like it's that just really, for me as a viewer, it makes it really hard to believe. It's like our girl has been in standstill for 5 years of growth and development, and that's just not how life works. This is a character that we saw in season 1 have a great deal of development, learned how to trust, wanted Joel to take chances on other people and to be supportive, and she wanted community and all of those things, but she was also very reserved and very cautious. And then we have 5 years, and now here we are, and I don't understand the decisions that she's making. You are ready to be a daddy. You just listen to this man say, I got to live for my kid. And the first thing that you want to do is go run off half-cocked on somebody to help somebody when you got 6 people with weapons that can take you down. You're not even that good of a shooter. That's another thing. It's like, she's not even that good of a shot, if we're being 100. So it's like, what gifts, what skills do you think you have that would make you deliberately just go off? At what point is there some growth and development? And I think that's the problem I'm having, is I think that there was a trajectory of growth, and now we've completely reversed. And it does feel like a betrayal, because Game of Thrones fans will know we had quite a few characters who were giving, namely, let's go with Jaime, we're giving redemption arc, we're giving skilled and using my skills for the betterment of others. And then the last season, literally the last episode, was like, oh, we're going to just throw that all out. And it feels like this has been but this whole entire season. And I think there was a way to still tell the story beats and not throw all of that away. Because if her path toward revenge was driving her so much that it made her regret or just revert on everything that she had learned. But we're not even seeing that fuel. Like half the time I forget that she's on a mission to kill anybody because she's so busy focused on Dina and the sexing and the I'm gonna be a daddy and all those things. It's like, girl, did you forget you're on a mission? That would have, what Tyra's been saying about that part, that would have made some of the reverting and like her intellect makes sense, because when you are driven with that kind of emotion, you can sometimes lose your mental faculties. Oh, like I'm slipping because I'm not really thinking straight because I'm just raging out. But really, where has she been raging out? So when she was about to run off, I was just like, girl, please just get shot already. Like, Jesse, just let her run off and get shot, and you just stay hidden. Don't nobody need to know that you're with her. And then you just go back to the camp and get Dina and your baby and head on back to Jackson. Because that was the stupidest moment in the whole, that really just pissed me off. And we've already seen the scars. There was really no need, especially for, like, okay, what was the point of that scene aside from him telling her stuff that he already said when they were at the library? Really, it really wasn't a need for, or I guess on the way to the library, I don't know, I can't even keep up with everything that's happened. It just didn't feel like there was a need. She'd already seen the scars. She already knew that they were disemboweling people. Why did we need to have that moment? It just felt wasteful, because what is the payoff if we don't get really an idea of that towards the end of this episode? And now we have to wait, another year or two for there to be a payoff from that moment. So it just really, that part got under my nerves. Made me want to crash out for real, if I'm being honest.
I don't know. After it's all said and done, I really feel like all of this has been intentional. There's no way in hell you give us the first season and then give us this. I think they want to discard of Ellie, discard of Joel, and give us something totally different. I don't know if it's just Sarah Fights Abby and Jeffrey Wright and whatever else, but I think they're trying to transition into an entirely different show. Because the way they threw these characters in the garbage can and didn't care, this was a careless season. I think that's why it's just like, let's just go and kind of wrap it up in the best way we can, try to give them some satisfaction, because they did, travel and care about these characters for that first season. But we're not trying to focus on that anymore. I don't know if it's just Pedro and his check, or if it's just Ellie wanting to move on to something to the actress. But yeah, I think we're moving on to greener pastures. But yeah, you shall not pass, ho. Why is she still alive? Why is she still alive? I told y'all I was irritated with this being June 2.0 in Handmaid's Tale. Y'all didn't earn that to be June 2.0 just yet. Y'all not even that knee deep in the storyline yet for you to have this much goddamn plot armor. It is crazy. But Moses is out there parting the Red Sea. After she told him, Jesse, I'm going to do what I want to do anyways. Like, I hope you make it back. I hope you stay alive, because I'm going to get Tommy. I'm going to put him first, and we're getting the hell out of here. She takes it upon herself. Child, raining, the seas are roaring. We're out here on this rowboat from hell. I was like, girl, what do we just die already? There's no way you're making it. There's no way. But now she's a Navy SEAL. The whole boat tips over, all washed ashore. Oh God.
Yeah,
I finally sure, because we've been stealth all this time. When this little baby Scar saw her and she's captured, she's like, hey, you, tell them I'm not a wolf. I was like, how? I don't know you. What the hell do you want me to tell them? The gutter. Kill her now. Like, down. What do you want me to tell them? Oh, I just saw you wash up. Like, hey, Ellie against these elements was extremely laughable. This was the worst visually for me that the show has been. All these waters, all the CGI of it all, the way it just looks so unreal, and her just washing up and telling that baby, he's like, oh, I don't know you, gutter. I don't know you. How you gonna tell this baby to save you? But she washes up here, and we get this brief, like, yeah, we know she's not gonna die. We know that she's protected, but at least commit. Before we could even string this heifer up good enough, she's cut down. Oh, Oh, it's the bells of glory in the background, whatever the hell they were, whatever it was the sound off that we need to get the hell back to the village, and they're just gone. Leave her there. Leave her there. Why? Stab her. Disarm her. Do something. Hurt her. Why does she keep walking away from these situations unscathed? Hurt her. Injure her. Take a big toe. Do something. Half the journey of a revenge, if this is what that was supposed to be, clearly we were duped and lied to, it's everything that you go through getting there. Everything you had to fight through getting to where you need to go. I think everybody wanted their best chance of this episode to be Ellie going into a building, that building that they left off of last episode, and we're going up. It's a domino effect. I'm making my way to Ellie or some way to Ellie, but I'm dropping bodies. At least, if they wanted to fake it and have her turn into a sniper killer out of nowhere, I would have took it. Y'all doing everything else, but it's just not that. This was just very, very comical to me. But dumb ho, you shall not pass. Why is she still alive?
This scene was hilarious because one, the CGI landscape skyline, the PS2 graphic skyline was crazy, but also before we even get to the surfer wave, I don't know. Does the HBO think nobody's ever been on a boat before? Because you can't see. You're not going to tell me this lightning is lighting her way. You can't see nothing. She would have been halfway to California, trying to steer and direct herself on this dark water. You don't know up from down. Has Ellie ever been on a boat? Before the wave came, I felt like she would have died. But then the wave came, and I'm expecting her. Obviously, she's not dead. I thought that, but I had to check the timestamp. I was like, is the episode going to end there? But obviously, she's not dead. But I expect her to wash up on them rocks, half naked, because you got to shed your stuff. She had the backpack on, she had boots on. I'm like, how are you not at the bottom of the ocean? Like, what's going on? But I was just like, and if you gonna skip all of that and just be like, y'all know that she's not gonna die, we just trying to get her there, then just get her there. I don't know what we needed the wave for. She could have just pulled up on shore, got off the boat, and the little kid could have saw her, and everything would happen the same. And so I don't know what this scene, why they spent all this money on this bootleg CGI for us to see for the symbolism of her trying to get through a storm to get her revenge. It was funny to me. It was funny to me, but that was about it.
It's not supposed to be, dumb.
I'm sorry. I didn't feel any tension. As much as I defend this show, I felt no tension, no dramatic foreboding. I knew she wasn't gonna get to this Ferris wheel. I was like, she ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna die. We gotta add another 15 minutes to this runtime somehow. That's all I was thinking about.
Quana, you shall not pass.
What was the reason? What was the reason in my best Cardi B voice? What was the reason? This whole scene, I was here thinking, okay, they in Seattle, Pacific Northwest. Where is her rowing to? Where is she going? What is happening here? And then she washes up, gets snatched up. For what? Just for us to have her have this encounter with this. The only thing I can think, I guess this is a little bit prediction for season 3, is maybe momentarily she will link up with the wolves to take down. What is the point? What would be the point of this moment?
The point of this is the same conversation she just had with Jesse about, well, that was a child. We should have tried to, do what we need to do to save him. If the roles were reversed, if the roles were reversed, just like we didn't help that person, if I wash up on the shore from Moses parting the Red Damn Sea and then breaking it back together and it clapped like an ass and I washed onto those waters, he's going to save me. He's going to spare me because I'm not a wolf. I'm actually a good person because I'm still a good person. We want to prove that Ellie's a better good person. And she thought this little boy was going to go, yeah, I know I've never seen you a day in my goddamn life, but I'm going to help you out and say you're not a wolf.
Said gutter. I don't know her. And I think also, I don't know who else has been keeping up. I know Ashley has been keeping up with our other show, Handmaid's Tale. Handmaids did this scene so much better. If you haven't watched episode, what we on episode 7? If you haven't watched episode 7 of that, run back and watch that because they did this so much better.
So much
And
better.
it was payoff and it made sense and it was and then it was, oh woo, there's a noise in the background. We don't got time to continue to string her up and kill her. We gotta let her go because we can run off and like it takes that long. Tie that rope to a tree and keep it pushing. That like plot armor thicker than season 4 Handmaid's Tale with June. And like Tyra said, Ellie hadn't earned that. They just didn't need this scene. And then for the CGI to be bad in the background, y'all really didn't need this scene. It really didn't matter. We didn't need it.
I don't know. I thought she was gonna be like Mr. Man, when Ving Rhames was in Rosewood and he was, strangling up there for his dear life. And he was like, "Go, Booker T, go!" And he was, it was all having a cackle. And then they turned around and he was like mysteriously down because he was tussling up there the whole time. I thought she was gonna have a man Ving Rhames moment in Rosewood, but it wasn't there. This wasn't that kind of affair.
Party time.
Ashley, you shall not pass. You shall not pass, Ashley.
Girl, I like that you had Moses here. A good old biblical reference because deliver us from the show, deliver us from Raggedy on the Shore. Because when I went and saw the images for this episode before the episode came, I was like, what the hell is she doing washed up on the shore? And then I see her in her canoe. because revenge is that now all of a sudden a priority for her. The jackhammering of it all in the midst of the foolishness, that could happen, right? We had time for that. But now I'm on this urgent mission for revenge. I know we're there and I've got to find them, right? I don't believe it. I don't believe now you all of a sudden have this urgency, Ellie. But again, another area where I feel as though they messed up just in flat out storytelling, because this was a perfect time for us to really see Ellie struggle with this new love since they pushed it down our throats, right? That, I love Ellie. I'm about to be a father soon. I have this obligation. We saw, she says, should we go back home? But that was short-lived. We know that wasn't real. But in this moment where I know where Abby is and I am faced with these two choices, my baby mama is laid up here. I don't know if she's going to make it. She bleeding out from the leg with my unborn child, or I can go get this revenge. There was no conflict in Ellie whatsoever. There was not a second thought for that heifer bleeding out on the carpet in the theater. Not a single thing. Again, another failure for me, just in flat out storytelling. And I loved baby Decimus Maximus. I thought I was here for him. He was not entertained. When he said, "Get her out of there," I said, "Yeah, baby, get her out of there. String her up." Look, I sound like one of them people. This is what this show has done to me. You have made me one of them people. Do you hear me? Again, what I really wanted was to go into the Seraphites' Cove. I wanted to see their practices. Take me through there, kidnap Ellie, and let's bring her to the headquarters. Since I can't take her out right now, but we still got to get this supreme justice for the prophet, let me take her on back there, or at least drag her a little bit, do something. But this half, I was so aggravated by it. And I don't give a damn if it was in the game, y'all. I don't care. Just tell me a good story. Take me somewhere. Take me on a journey. You know what I mean? And get me there. That's all I want, y'all. It doesn't even matter at this point. Just give me a story that makes sense with characters that are developed, and I will be a happy camper. I promise you, I am sweet most of the time. But when you take me over there, I'm like Inez, strange fruit her, because get her out of here. Get her out.
Yeah, would y'all please the reference? Jeez. Get her out of here. I was like, I set up a little bit in my chair when the little whistle was blown and it was like, we got to get back to the village. I was like, ooh, of course we have this captive, not the wolves, not to die by any means necessary. If you think she's a wolf, she has to die. That's what we've seen from both ends. You guys are ruthless. They're going to drag her back. We're going to see some stuff. And then she's going to have time to get away. No, we just literally just left her there. I was like, you know what? Y'all really don't want me to be happy, do you? I was very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. But let's leave Moses part in the Red Sea, because I just, this is when I was like, oh, so this is what we've been building up to this whole time. I didn't know that we were gonna have that big shift in the end, Seattle day one type situation. But I was like, oh, this was a name drop. This has never been about Jeffrey Wright. Anything we thought we were getting from Jeffrey, we were never getting that. This was not that. So you're gonna give you a little taste, give you a little shoulder, and take it right back. Okay, give a little leg and take it right back. Because what you're gonna get is Abby. This is about Abby. I was like, oh, just when I thought we were getting a man, getting in that tour. Like I was like, oh, Jeffrey gonna have time to eat next season, boy, because yeah, will we even have, more use for him then? Because we're really leaning on, which would explain, because I don't think Jeffrey's character is also all that prominent in the game. But Abby is. We just, it was just wishful thinking. When he said, like, without her, all hope is lost. Like, what will we do without Abby at a time like this, in places like this? Abby and her crew have gone missing. Whatever will we do? I was like, what? Oh, I was like, okay, so probably next season, we're definitely going to be spending a lot of time on Abby. So I never thought that she would die here, but I didn't think we would get like all Abby. But this scene confirmed for me that she was way more important than we were giving her credit for. And I know you guys, the game and stuff, I ain't played those games. I don't know. And so far, the show has been sorry. So I never know what to expect. But I was hoping, just with the caliber of actor that Jeffrey Wright is, we would get to spend some time with him and really revel in his villainy and all that good stuff that we saw with the scar and the pot and the stove. No, this is all damn near the season pretty much, if you wanted to, because even when we're getting into Ellie, her arc is damn near, am I becoming Abby? Am I as bad as Abby? We had moments of transitioning. It was like, girl, you get on our nerves just as much as Abby when we met her the first, couple of episodes. That's been her arc. This whole season has been building us up to Abby. What? I don't know how to feel about that. Quana?
Diabolical that they would play in my boo's face like this. Why in the world would you have the Jeffrey Wright, the Basquiat? Why would you have Beatty from Daggone Hunter? Why would you have this man on the show and not give him nothing to do? I don't understand it. I don't understand. I don't care what, like you said, what the game was doing. Where are the people who have the Bible for what the show needed to be? And they said, here is the storyline we could develop without taking away from what his end goal needs to be, to give him something that he can bite his teeth into. You have somebody like Jeffrey Wright, and this is where your will should start spinning to how we can get this man an Emmy for a guest starring performance or something. He can't get no Emmy off of this, off of saying we need Abby. He can't win nothing off of that. I was so mad. I was like, okay, he's going to pop up and have something to do. It was literally it wasn't even a whole minute, maybe a minute and a half worth of television that we saw him on our screen. And it just felt so wasted. I guess just to convince us that Abby is as bad as we think she is, or that she thinks she is, but they could have just showed us that. We could have just seen glimmers. And I always go back to The Walking Dead. I know it's an imperfect show, but before we ever saw Negan on the screen, we saw the effects of what Negan was doing. Before we saw the Terminites, we saw the remnants of what they were doing, the clues along the way. There could be bodies that they could have been seen with Abby's call sign or whatever on it along the way to tell us that Abby was a bad bee. They didn't need to pay Jeffrey Wright however much they paid him and not give him nothing to do. But I mean, cash your check, boo boo. I'm happy for you, because we always like a check over in these parts. But I'm just gonna have to, I guess, hold out till the Spike Lee movie comes out, because that's the only way I'm gonna see him in something that is worthy of his acting prowess.
Yeah. So this scene, again, another missed opportunity for me, and I wrote it down because as you know, like Quana said, definitely he was wasted here. I really would have been interested in his story, even his protege story, because we see his protege at work earlier in the episode, and I was like, oh, that would have been a great callback to earlier in the season when we're introduced to him and what's going on there. here's the thing. I love and enjoy Isaac's character, even as a villain, because I think he's forward thinking. And I think that's indicative of what a true leader should be, especially in a post apocalyptic situation that they're in, right? My issue with it is the fact that they haven't hyped up apple cider vinegar to be all of this, right? She is the hope for mankind. She is the hope for the future. But why? We don't have any background other than she being relentless in her pursuit of Joel, who unalived her father, but not her prowess as a leader for, setting resources, for dispatching people. We know nothing really about Abby other than her revenge tour, which I think does a disservice to her character if she's going to be so pivotal in the following season. But I liked it. He's like, he may not make it. The chick who lost her son in the basement, she may not make it. We need Abby. The hope was on Abby. Bump 90210. We need Abby. And I wish we would have understood and known how important Abby was to this movement up to now. We don't. So we're just sitting here like, Isaac, is this all you came for? You just came here to pass the torch to Abby and say that she's the greatest that ever was, while we never saw her doing anything good for the people. There were like allusions to things, but we never got to see it. And I think this was a missed opportunity in storytelling as far as Isaac, as far as the relationship maybe that he had built with Abby over the years that makes him put all of this trust in her. If he can't make it, she's the future. I would have enjoyed this. I really would. I'm here for a passing of the torch moment, other than the fact that I don't buy apple cider vinegar as this Abby that y'all claim to love. I don't. She's she don't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think Abby, this one who did what she did to Big Bad Joel, is the baddest. She the biggest. She the baddest. She the strongest. And it doesn't give that. Even though she tries to make her tone serious, it never gave that. But yeah, Jeffrey was definitely wasted over here. But I did enjoy the little pieces and glimmers we got of Isaac, because Jeffrey Wright is going to deliver in whatever role he's given. But yeah, this was a waste. It could have been special. It could have been. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But it's not.
And for anybody who hasn't watched Apple Cider Vinegar, please go and watch it. The lead actress here who portrays Abby, she's over there in Apple Cider Vinegar on Netflix, and it is good. But yeah, I could see like, I don't know, like a Florence Pugh with a little muscle on her, like some just make fulfill the fantasy. Dumb.
I'm mixed on this. I definitely, like everybody, I want more Jeffrey Wright. He can do no wrong. I don't think that, but what I do like the fact that he's preparing. Well, I do like the fact that he's worried about where Abby is, and he's looking forward enough to be like, for this to be able to sustain, this has to be able to change hands in the capable hands. And I don't think that his reverence for Abby is because she can have a high body count or how strong she is more because he says the line about, despite their names, these are all very much sheep. So you kind of need somebody like Abby to lead them, because and then that's what they show because in the first time we meet Isaac, when he in the back of the truck and he kills his own people and stuff like that, he takes out the one to survive and follow him, is like showing that these people ain't smart. These ain't the brightest bulbs. They just gonna go where a commanding presence tells them, and all you need is somebody confident to act like they know what they're talking about to kind of corral them, and which is like most people. And so, but Abby is set apart in that regard. I do agree, though, that I wish we could have seen that instead of him just telling us that exists, because all we saw was Abby was like, but I mean, you could tell that when she started her revenge thing, that everybody was looking at her like this was not normal Abby. But I just wish we could have seen normal Abby. So what Jeffrey Wright says would have made a little bit more sense. It would have connected a little bit more. But I'm assuming we'll get more Jeffrey and more Abby. I'm assuming the first half of season 2 or season 3 is going to be from the Wolves' perspective. Give Bella Ramsey a break. She's stressed. She's tired.
She needs one. I was gonna say, because Abby first episodes are so rolling down that snowy hill in Jackson, looking like all hope was lost. That's not. I mean, anybody could, give you bravado and be commanding and lead you somewhere, but he was speaking like she would be a proper leader, like for the people. Like that whole mission to go and the vengeance and the father, that was very selfish. You took a lot of important members. You took your whole team, didn't care. You gonna lead them into the trenches, into the middle of town, and we were just gonna figure it out when we got there. Just so happened, it would have been great to see how physically capable and even mentally smart she could be to even get a hold of somebody like Joel instead of him just falling into her lap like he did. That would have told me just how bright she is and what she's capable of as a leader. Because even as a leader, those episodes in the beginning, they were looking at her like, okay, well, so what's your plan? There is no plan. I just said that to get her the hell out of here. We actually need to go home. We actually need to go home and get out of here while we still can because the chances are slim and she's acting irrational. That's not giving me nothing, Jeffrey, but it was nice to see him here for this brief amount of time. Thank you so much, Jeffrey Wright, for giving us a moment. We have over 100 or so people in here. I'm gonna give you guys a minute, and I mean a minute, to hit that like button. Please do that right now. We would appreciate it. Thank you.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 minutes. I just wanna rock. I just wanna rock. Body yada yada. Shorty got that body yada yada. Hit it once, no time. Set up, fuck, you gon' feel my vibe. Stand on my money, don't know my size. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my high. This ain't what you want. Project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 minutes.
All right. Thank you. You dancing back there, Ashley. Thank you guys so much for hitting that like button. We definitely appreciate you. Back to the matter at hand, because there's so much going on in this show and nothing at the same time. But we get here. Where everything I ever hoped for Ellie was confirmed. That we were never about that life. She showed us this whole time that she wasn't. And we knew it, but I think deep down, a corner, little slither of us wanted her to like really be ruthless. And it just was never that. I really wanted her to get in here and stand on business. The whole Moses journey of it all, even getting here, jeopardizing not only your life, but everybody else's around you, the community, Jackson, this family, this potential son, daughter, this baby. Yeah, all of that's going to trump the vengeance I have for the Joel situation. But we try to be poignant, and it's really just Abby, because I just need to get her. Everybody else can be spared if you tell me what I want to know and get me where I need to be. Because I'm a good person. I'm not like you. Yeah, that's why we get nowhere. That's why Abby's winning. We don't have time for this. But accidentally, because it could never be on purpose. She could have never went in there like as soon as she, and it's never like the illusion of like I maybe might. It's just always reluctant and put your like we don't even believe you. They damn sure don't believe you. That's why they keep trying you every single time you roll up on somebody with a damn gun. There's no conviction in it. It's just not. It's just not. It's extremely unfortunate. We have her accidentally in retaliation because we already knew little baby here in the front who love the way Abby's dirty draw smells. Clearly, don't do my people. He was never going to give her location away. Miss Mama's back here once again getting into why Abby may not be so fit as a leader, even though we have Jeffrey's character speaking on her. Everything can be sacrificed for whatever will she has, whether it's good or bad for the community. Go behind enemy lines to do what? This is crazy. This is dangerous. It's unsafe. We're not following her that way. Before we could even get into the trenches of that conversation, we come in here, we retaliate and accidentally, shoot not only him, but we injure this, pregnant wolf in the back. We have to go through all this emotion of, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't really cut the baby out. Matter of fact, y'all just gonna slip off into oblivion. I don't know what to do. And even if I did, like, what the hell were we gonna do? I was like, I said, cut the baby out if you want to. What I'm gonna do with 2 more kids? We don't need another baby in this universe. No. Let it go. Let it go, Ellie. Don't you cut out nothing. She did. And I was like, cool. I thought we was gonna have her running around like Carl, and got I thought we was gonna be over there having a baby on her back. Like, let's not do that. We need 2 kids now. But this is the way we go out. And this is just confirmation. This was a dummy mission. This was a dummy mission. If it was all this pause here, it was really gonna be also different with Abby. You just don't have that intent. And we all had to be drugged down with it for something that you really never had any intentions to do. Because if we're gonna spare something, we're gonna spare other people. It's just I don't know. I was just very upset. I would love to have had her come in here and at least like give intent. Like, let me threaten you, let you know I mean business. I'm gonna shoot you in your kneecap. Give me the fucking information. We just go and we pause. If you tell me what I want to know, I'll let you go because I'm not Abby. Girl, we could just disarm you and whip your ass right now because you're not Abby. I was sad for her. I was sad for the scene and sad for the show. Don?
You ever seen a Western where like the big bad black hat man come to the farm because he wants something and the dad ain't there, and so the son come out and he like point a gun at the big bad man, and the black hat man is always like, son, put the gun down because he ain't about that life. And he's just quivering and he ain't about that life, but he trying. He thought he was when he stepped out there, but he really wasn't. That's Abby. I mean, that's Ellie. Ellie was sure until she wasn't, and that's Ellie this whole season. Ellie's always sure until we get there, and then you're not. And I don't. And then I'm just gonna kind of be on repeat in a sense because I'm like, Ellie being John Wick wasn't the story they wanted to tell, and that's not the story they was telling. This is Ellie coming to terms with her not being a good person and her being selfish, and so she's not who she wants to be. She's not this person that she tries to put off. She's not capable. She's not strong. She's skilled, sure, probably compared to like somebody who didn't grow up in the apocalypse as far as her fighting and gun capability, but not by any other standard is she really capable. But she wants to be, and she puffs out her chest and presents herself as such, and then just continually at every point she gets humbled, but she doesn't learn until we get to the ultimate humbling. And so this was, but also I don't think that this is the same. Like, I don't think this is inconsistent from her scene with Nora, because one, she didn't kill Nora, and two, the context changing when it's a pregnant woman, I think should, in this context, be different because Dina's back there pregnant, and we give different dispensation to pregnant women, and so I think so her being distraught over an accidental killing that she did, and also killing the baby, I think that made sense. That's all. But this was just another, because with this whole episode, we're on a very steady train of Ellie realization, and she's just still trying to get to her goal, but at every station is somebody telling her or something putting in front of her that she's not about this life, and then we get to the end.
Ellie should be good. She's a half decent shot at this point. I mean, she should
hit
have
the target.
Victory lap. I mean, 2 for the price of 1. Take them down, because why are you pregnant and on the battlefield for our Lord? Like, girl, go somewhere and sit down. Be laid up in your bed of affliction, because wrong place, wrong time. People go out every day. I was going to say it a different way, but I'm trying to keep the live monetized, and I want to be respectful to Quana. But, I don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, she was there. This heifer looked you in the face as they unalived Joel, baby, pregnancy or not. There's no remorse. There's no crying in baseball. What are you doing, Ellie? Put on your big boy draws, whatever they wear, your boxer, your briefs, and stand on business. Girl, if you did it, be man enough, all right, to deal with the consequences of your damn actions. Like, what are we doing? And no, it didn't give humanity. It didn't give, oh man, look at this blood on my hands. Again, it was executed poorly. I did not believe it. We literally grinned and laughed in Tati's face as she died. Am I gonna die? That's just you, Bookie. I'm immune. Like, I listen. Don't what Tyra say? Don't put that on my cracker. Judge Judy said it best. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Okay, just don't do that. And then Tommy coming in, he's the cleanup brigade now. You made him trash man. You made him
Tommy get here.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right, Ellie. You know, these are the things we got to do. Don't pat her on the back. Let this hoe stand in her decisions. This is what it should have been about. I am finally faced with the consequences of my actions. Let me go home to Jackson. I'm not built for this life. This ain't me. You said it once before, and then you proceed to get blicky happy again. Like, I don't believe it. There's no continuity at all. She's sitting there crying in the theater earlier. Oh, I don't like the person I'm becoming. I don't like who I am anymore. And then you just Walker, Texas Ranger. I don't care, y'all. I don't. And Tommy coming in, let me be your help. Let me help you, guide you through it.
Where did he come from, Ashley?
Girl, he appeared out of the clouds. He just happened to be right there at the right time.
Jesse knew he was going.
No, I do not like the men in this show being utilized in this way. They did the same mess with Jesse. As soon as we need a little pick me up, need a little saving, need somebody to carry Dina's pregnant ass. Here comes the man. Like, where the hell did you come from? We saw what it took for her to get here. This wasn't like some ish with the theater and this and that. And I'm gonna.
It was two boats there.
Dumb.
It was more than one boat. They both had gas in it.
Tommy the magician and Ellie the dumbass. Quana.
It just doesn't, and nothing makes any sense anymore. Nothing makes any sense. People just show up. It doesn't make sense how they get there. We're gonna have to deal with that again in the next scene because we're gonna have to figure out how another person shows up where they did as well. None of this stuff makes any sense. I was with Ellie a little bit in her final reaction with Mal when she unveils that she's with child. That made complete sense. But when she rolls up and she's trying to get information from them, and I'm like, this is not the same girl who 24 hours ago or less than 24 hours ago was willing to beat down Nora for information about Abby. Nothing in that little conversation she had with Jesse that she was willing to then go off on this would make me believe that she suddenly didn't know how to get information from somebody or she's scared to pull a trigger. I just didn't understand that. So when Owen, when she's like holding the gun on Owen, she's like, I don't want to do it. Like, girl, I saved you. You saved me to watch my daddy, my foster daddy, get his head beat down to the ground. That's not like, what did you save me for? I could understand if it was like, oops, I really didn't mean to kill you when I did because I was really hoping to get some information. And then she's like, but I would. Then she had a reaction. Okay, fine, I could go with her for that. But just the whole vibe of just the direction. I'm really gonna chalk this up to bad direction in this scene because how she confronts the situation just didn't line up with what she was attempting to do. You know that you're about to go up against Abby, and these are the last line of defense between you and Abby. For her to go into it that skittish did not make sense to me. Now the reaction to having to slit open, like, oh, I'm not ready. I can't slit open Mel's stomach and try to get this baby out. And it kind of makes me wonder, what is HBO afraid of? Because they've certainly done enough bad C-sections on HBO shows in the past.
Talk about it.
So if I'm Ellie and I'm someone who is having these epiphanies about life and about wanting to like not harm babies, what would make her not try to get the baby out? No, the baby would die, but what would make her not just like try to get the baby out?
She don't care about no baby.
I would have much rather the payoff should have been she actually tried.
What? She don't care about the baby, don't she cared about that scar. It was the child. There's this need to try to tap into this humanity. I would love for
but that was fighting. That was fighting.
But
yeah,
but if that's what they're trying to make us believe, then she should have actually tried and then failed spectacularly.
Yeah,
like
but that's
she
the thing.
tried and the baby's dead.
Yeah, but the thing, she don't really care about nobody. She wanted to jump in front of the neophyte Seraphite because it was time to fight.
She has
really.
Yeah, she had a death wish.
She's such a great fighter.
No. I'm looking at this because Ellie is a character. She's not us in our projections of what we want her to do. She's her own character.
She acts like she has a slither of humanity. That's why Jesse told her, girl, it was never that. We know why we're here. We're here for you. Everything has always been about you. Don't put that mess in there with her telling that little baby, I'm not a wolf. Tell your mom to spare me. Because if it was somebody else, I would want to be spared. People deserve grace and humanity. I want to be everything but, Abby and this. These guys are sick. But you've been here long enough, skipping down the streets of Maine, to realize the wolves and the Seraphites are relentless. They're gutting, they're killing, they're hanging. There's these physical displays of torture, and you're going to get here and renege? Like, fine.
I mean, they already had her. What else was she going to do?
Fine. The shooting was fine. They should have had her cut that stomach open and try to get that baby out.
I'm saying she don't care about the baby. She don't care about nobody. Yeah, she told Dina she can't.
Oh, in the writing of her tries to make it seem like they want us to think that she does care.
No, I don't agree.
For her to be invested with this strength in her, laying on this ground, she should have saw Dina. She should have saw the baby. She should have saw everything in the whole.
She don't care about Dina either. I guess that's my point.
That's you and your projection onto her from the writing.
No, I think y'all.
From all 7 episodes that we've seen, they want us to think that she's scared. Miss, I'm gonna be a daddy. She don't give a damn over there gathering books and Sesame Streets and Elmo and Barney for this soon-to-be child, this seed. She don't care.
Yeah,
I agree with you that she lacks the emotional maturity that would, if we were getting into the nitty-gritty of what makes a good relationship.
I'm not even saying that.
I think when we talk about her not really caring about Dina in that way, not really caring about this, that, and the third, I think you're right on. I think you're true. But when she breaks down, she's looking at this woman who she just accidentally killed, and she's looking at this baby bump, and she is falling apart. Mm-hmm. And what they showed us in this episode, it just didn't make sense to me. Other than the fact that they spent their budget on Jeffrey Wright's 2 seconds on the show, and so they didn't want to do the fake baby alive, covered in strawberry jam, because that's what they use for childbirth scenes. In case y'all didn't know, they use strawberry jam and cream cheese. They didn't want to do that, but that would have, I think, made the breakdown, I think, more meaningful if she had tried to save the baby somehow, because the mom is pleading with her to do that, and she couldn't, because the reality is she couldn't. She doesn't know what she's doing, and I think she needed that lesson. And I don't know why HBO is afraid to do it, because they did it season 1, episode 1 of House of the Dragon.
Yeah, so, I don't think that HBO's afraid. I think that before she put that knife in her hand. I'm saying before she put that knife in her hand, from episode 1 of this season to the moment she had that knife in her hand, Ellie did not care about anybody but Ellie and Joel. I'm saying, listen, hold on.
No. If we didn't want her to care before she gets her ass down there with that knife over the stomach and she's helped me, I am pregnant. If she lifts up that shirt and you see that she's pregnant, this same person who stood by, and this is all about Joel, whatever, we didn't want her to care. Have her bend down over her ass and say, all you had to do was point on the map and give me all you had to do was tell me what I wanted.
No, that's what I said before.
That's we don't care to me.
No. That's why I said before she had the knife in her hand, she didn't care. I'm saying when she was on her knees and she had faced with trying to dig into this baby's belly, that's when the realization hit her that her actions have consequences. I'm saying before, up until this point, she didn't care, but she doesn't care. She doesn't really genuinely care about Dina. She don't care about Dina's baby. She don't care about Jesse. She don't care about Tommy. She don't care about nobody.
It, Dom.
You know what I'm saying? But out of her mouth, and that's the thing, that's the arc of Ellie this season. Out of her mouth, she says a bunch of stuff, but everything she says is self-serving. Everything she said at the town hall is self-serving. Everything that's come out of her mouth up until this point is self-serving. And so that's the arc of her. Her arc this season isn't revenge, despite that's what us wanting. Her arc this season is realizing that she's not a good person. And it was at that moment where she realized that, oh, my actions have consequences and people have died and this baby died because of this thing that I did. And her breaking down was her realizing all of that. And now she got to deal with Jesse dying too. But I'm saying, but before then, she does not care. And she's saying that she does, and stuff is coming out of her mouth, and she's going through the motions of caring, but she doesn't actually care.
So, Dom, what was the point of the scene, the couple scenes before in the episode, this same episode, where she's like, I don't like the person I'm becoming. I don't know, even though I grinned and loved it in the moment, now I'm this, but I'm still going to go full throttle into this great dark night to pursue this revenge, even though I have this realization before, right? Because that's her epiphany. I'm not a good person. I'm already there. I'm already knowing.
Just leave it there. What about before, when we dead ass gave Dina the option? Because if it's up to you, I'm going to give you the choice. We can leave all of this right now and go back to Jackson for this baby.
But remember what she said. She didn't say we could leave and dead it. She was like, I'll take you back. She said, I'll take you back, and made it seem like she was going to drop Dina off and come back. That's how she framed it. She didn't say we could just go home and live happily ever after. She said, I'll take you back, and then I'll come back. And so really it was manipulative because she knew darn well Dina wasn't going to let her come back by herself. That's why Dina's there in the first place.
Chew on that. But we get here. Oh, Lord. Because I know if it were me, I know you would be getting it out the mud behind your boy Jesse. Because we like that. We close like that. I was like, Jesse, are you sure? What you say? We go on this, GTA mission. And this is what this has been this whole time. It's been one big GTA mission. For whatever reason, we get to this point and Ellie passes. Jesse fails miserably. The way he could barely pow! It was the biggest FU to Jesse. And it's not just us, because I've been watching other channels that don't just give, I guess, the formal breakdown plot by plot and scene by scene. No, people generally giving their opinions on the show. And from what I can see, the consensus was Jesse is great. We need more Jesse. Like, I don't know what's going on, but the quicker y'all get Jesse there, the better. We really like his character. And we shoot Jesse in the face. Like, abruptly. It's like, well, I knew Jesse would die. I didn't think it was gonna be like this. I was like, well, dang, that just seems so like get the out of here. You're not going into the next season. It was a punch in the face. Literally, it was no care, no compassion, no nothing for it. Running to be the savior as he's been doing, because we gotta save Ellie and Dina. He's blatantly shot in the face, and we lose Jesse right after he utters, you know what? I understand you, and I'm sorry. We're better than that. Because if it were me, you would be out there getting me back in blood about your boy. So I understand why you're doing what you needed to do. Dom?
Jesse was always going to die. And if you're going to kill him, I don't need you to have... but this is how I want you to kill characters, to be honest. Because I don't need you to get shot and then give me a soliloquy and then give me a deathbed pep talk. Let's have a heartfelt thing, and then when it's go time, because that's how it happened. And I want it to simulate realness. And in reality, when you standing next to your homeboy and your homeboy catch one, we don't have any time for last words. It's gone, and you got to deal with that, and you got to sit with that. And honestly, if it's hitting the fan for real, like it is here, we don't even got time to deal with it. We got to move on to what's happening because we still getting shot at. and so that's how I like scenes to happen. So, and I like the pacing of it because it keeps me focused on what's going on. So yeah, cool. Take them out like that. I'm with it.
Quana, did you care at all when we abruptly lost Jesse?
I was pissed because I knew he was going to die, but it just felt wasted. Like they literally ran into boom, like it happened. So I was like, "Dang, did I blink?" He ran into the room, boom, dropped to the ground. Jesse gone. I was just like, there was just so many more create. I like my deaths to be creative sometimes. I don't know, it's just me because I'm a horror girly at heart. And I just felt like it was just such a waste of the creativity, even with regards to Abby. Shooting him straight dead on in the face, I guess it shows that, she's ruthless. Okay, so we see she's ruthless. But we knew she was ruthless when she sat there and beat Joel down with that daggone 9-iron. So I just wish it had like lent itself to a little bit more creativity in the death, because it was like, well, just dang, Jesse didn't get to do nothing in this show. He was here for 2 seconds, gone the next. And the speed with which the end of this episode happens, it just left me feeling kind of numb. Like, I know I should be worried about Tommy, and I should be worried about, well, is Ellie dead now? I should care about Dina, but we all know none of us care about Dina. And it takes me back to episode 2, which is the only death that I have cared about this entire show, and it was wasted in a second episode of a season and not in a finale episode. And then you give me this one death that's not a main character death, that we don't really know Jesse to care about him. So it really just pissed me off at the end of it. I was just like, okay, whatever. We've been saying he was going to die since episode 3, so we knew that was going to happen. It just felt wasted.
Mm-hmm. I would only want a more creative death for Jesse, because if not for nothing, you at least showed us that Jesse was a little smart, a little calculated. I don't see him running abruptly. Yes. Oh, they shooting. Let me run towards the gunfire. Like, what are we doing? And it's not like
good people should get good deaths. It feels like a good, strong, sturdy man who's been taking out people who had to go save Ellie. He shouldn't just get popped like that. It feels like it should be like earned. Like he got a chance to fight somebody. Go out with a bang.
It was like, you're a man. Get out of this show. You're a man. That's what it felt like. Even when we have Tommy here in the capacity of just consoling her, having her step out on that ledge to, you know what, it's okay for me to go back to Jackson and know that I didn't get Abby, because we're better for it. I don't need that. I really didn't like what happened just a second ago with the pregnant situation. Let's go home now.
And let me not skate past the fact that all of this is Dina's fault anyway, because she sat there and she turned around and looked at that door and didn't lock it back or nothing. I caught that look back at the door. It was Dina. I'm gonna blame Dina. I ain't blaming nobody else. It was her fault. He said, "Are you good with barricading?" She said, "Yes." When they came back in, your behind was supposed to barricade the door again. You did it the first time. Oh, sorry, I had to say.
Oh, no, they were waiting on a man to do it. Now that a man was there, Tommy, or they were supposed to do the door, not her, Ashley.
Yeah, we didn't get enough of Jesse, and that's my only thing, And like y'all say, well, this happened in the game. I don't care. They're not following the game completely. So he could have been there. He could have been there a little bit longer. He could have died a little bit earlier. He could have been turned into a clicker. I would have loved it if we would have gotten some of that action. Give me some of those effects. Like I love that. But yeah, I just Heavy, is the head that wears the crown, I guess. And that's why he was moving so silly. Everyone goes into Seattle and apparently loses all their training. The training he's done for 100 years. Now that he's captain, he forgot it all. We don't cover, we don't secure the perimeter. We don't do any of those things, and we just get taken out. Jesse, I guess, got what he deserved in the end. Because you should have stayed in Jackson with your people. Damn Ellie. Damn this suicide mission. Jesse's character had a lot of potential for me. I think just in the general narrative of not only being Dina's, love interest, at what time sperm donor, as you guys have called it in the comments, but also just as maybe a comrade for Ellie in this mission. I think it would have been a more formidable duo for him to have been traveling with her the entire time versus a Dina. I think it would have been more complimentary, and it would have made sense if Ellie is on this journey to self-discovery and figuring out who she was, because we constantly see her comparing herself to the men in her lives. So I think it could have actually pushed the narrative forward a little bit if self-discovery truly was the mission as Dom purports, that's where she was trying to get. And I don't disagree with it. Maybe that was in their mind and intention, but the way that it is served and delivered does not land for me. It's too fickle. It's too, like I said, I just want it to be consistent. If you're a consistent F up, then just be that, but don't one day be laser focused and you've got all of the prowess, all of the skill, and then the next day you're just as dumb as a box of rocks. It'll never land for me. But yeah, Jesse had to go for us to ease on down the road, I guess, and really see, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the Black Widow. Maybe everyone in my crosshairs or my path who accompanies me, they all die. So before the love of my life, Dina does, maybe now, after all of this, after her real baby father is taken out, maybe I'll go home now. It's just dumb. And then we get the whole, isn't this where we get the conversation about, I know what Joel did and that's why Abby was after us. So now it's time to go home. Like, girl, like really? Really? This is the time you decide to tell this truth. You've been traveling, humping, doing all of this with Dina, and this is the time? Okay. All right.
This would have felt earned if she had traveled here with Tommy. It's like, no, not my second dad. Not my Joel 2.0. Please, no, not him. Not Uncle Daddy Tommy. It wasn't. We haven't had that. We didn't have that build up where we could have had them be sad and have all this time in Jackson and build and family and rapport and time. And no, we got just as much time with you and Tommy as we got maybe the first season. Like, y'all had that little scene with the shooting, and everything else was just kind of in connection with Joel and the death later, so that didn't really progress anything. But she's here. Abby's here. Came through so easy. Came through dripping. She said, "Oh, I'll let you live. I'll let you live. Hell, and this is how you repay me. You know how rare it is that I spare a life," which I appreciate. We know who Abby is. I had the nerve to let you live, and you do this. I couldn't revel in this. I didn't care. It was kind of running instantaneously with Jesse getting shot. It was just like, pew, I spared you, ho. I was like, well, hold on. I was still looking at Jesse on the ground being shot in the cheek. I don't know. I was like, oh, and we're here. And it's just like, now I'm going to kill Jesse, and we fade to black. I was like, fade, what? What do we do? I was like, oh, y'all did, this is where we're going. We're really gonna leave off. This is your cliffhanger? Whose bright idea was to make this the cliffhanger? Because anybody in their right mind, with how predictable this season has been, and the find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z-ish of it, who pulled up? Who could have possibly shot the gun? Who could have possibly came through? Because Jesse's on the ground dead. Tommy's on his knees, about to be shot by Abby. Who could possibly fire a gun and save that situation and take out Abby, or at least injure her ass to where she doesn't hurt Ellie? Who could it be? Because we faded to black and we have no clue. Or maybe she shot her first. Maybe Abby's just standing there over Ellie's body and Dina's just shocked. Who knows? This was cheap. This was cheap. We don't have to wait and find out, 2 years later on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. We don't have to be patient. We know what this is. This is ABC 123 ad story writing. It would be great to subvert this and just get rid of Dina and Ellie altogether, because y'all don't want them. Y'all don't want that to be your core, your center. Y'all said she's not carrying. Pedro said, I got to go over there. It's a bigger check. You know what? We're going to shift to a different part of the Last of Us game and be all about Abby. It'll be nice if we're standing over her body, but I doubt it, because I feel like whatever shot, it was shot by Dina. but they wanted to fade to black to have us think maybe otherwise. Ashley?
Yeah, we know. I mean, as much as they tried to make us forget it, uh, Ellie is the only hope for mankind. She's the only hope for humanity at this point. She's literally got the cure. She's the immune, because as much as they didn't want us to know about the ravages of the cordyceps, that's still kind of a big issue, right?
Girl.
People are the issue, but that's still a thing. So yeah, we absolutely know the fade to black is absolutely cheap. It's absolutely circa 1980s Young and the Restless. Like like y'all, we're better than this. Are we not better? Do we not deserve better than this? Like it was just so heavy handed and like, oh yeah, use your imagination, you know. And then we go to an Abby waking up clearly before and seeing the onset of her journey and what she's fighting for, which again, we don't care. Again, I don't think apple cider vinegar is convincing. Again, it just doesn't do it for me. And someone states it earlier that it's not her diminutive form that I'm concerned with. It's just what she gives. You know what I mean? And I think she's a good actress. We've seen her over there in Dope Sick in Apple Cider Vinegar, and I think she does a great job. Here, it just doesn't fit for me. Like it just never lands for me. But I think it was cheap. I think they were like, all right, this is how we're going to close this season. Let's just get it done, because we're already we're greenlit for a season 3. So we can just kind of do anything, Adam. And apparently at this point in the game, we are going to be focusing on Abby's storyline. So this was the transition they went with. But I think the story deserved more. I think what they've presented in season 1 with Joel, Abby's relationship and their individual characters, I think they deserved better than this. Not just for the sake of, you know, as far as, you know, creating a fandom of actual viewers, not just game players, but just the characters, as far as the integrity of the characters. I have never seen a show devolve this quickly. Usually it takes 3-4 seasons for a show to kind of unravel in this way for me. But just bar for bar, if we're just looking at storytelling episode by episode, there's no comparison. It's like a different show this season, and I really hate that for us.
Kwana, do you need to wait for the next episode, you know, of Dragon Ball Z, or do you feel like you know what maybe happened here in this room?
Oh, I mean, definitely. I don't know why this was considered the big cliffhanger of the season. It's like everybody in the room forgot how to write for television at the same time, and there was nobody saying this is not how we write good television. And it was giving like old 90s sitcom, Young and the Restless, shout out to Victor Newman, type vibes, but it didn't feel earned. And the only thing was, okay, we fade to black and now we're switching. We definitely know that Dina is probably the only person who could have stopped Abby from just going ahead and shooting Ellie point blank in the head, because of course plot armor. Not one of the very competent and skilled shooters who were on the ground, because, you know, like we said, it's giving can't have her be saved by a man. can't have her be saved by a man, so it has to be Dina. And yet Dina is sitting there probably fighting off sepsis right now or some kind of infection. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. I don't know who in an audition Isabel Merced has impressed that much to where HBO is riding with her character this hard between this and Peacemaker, but it's not giving. It's not giving what they think it's supposed to give. No, it wasn't giving.
It's unfortunate. Dom, how did you feel about the Fade to Black?
Oh shoot, Quana, you know her agent working overtime because she only in Peacemaker. That's a cameo because she's gonna be in a new Superman movie. She hot girl. She's gonna have a whole franchise. But but this was beneath the legacy of HBO. This was below standard for a regular episode ending. If a regular episode ended like this and we was going to find out next week, I would be irritated because there's no anticipation. Because what could fathom what could possibly be the surprise. That's if it's not Dina. Isaac is standing in the doorway for some reason, and he decided to shoot his prize pupil. Like that, just it doesn't make any sense. And nothing that would even be satisfying because you're going to tell me they got an influx of Seraphites that just randomly came to this. Why they instead of fighting a war over in the island, they came to this random theater to conveniently for Deus Ex Machina. It just wouldn't make sense. And I'm so tired already from defending the show that now I gotta turn around and you end it like that. And for what? Like my thing is you could have ended that so many different ways. And if you wanted to give us a cliffhanger, yeah, to me, you could have had Sons of Anarchy, and I know Tyra, you ain't seen it and we're not gonna judge you for it. But the Sons of Anarchy ended one season on a cliffhanger where a baby got stolen, and the last scene is the dad running on the pier and looking at the dad at the baby on the boat being wished away, and the next season was like him getting the baby back, but it was a cliffhanger ending that was done well without you insulting the audience. And that's what I was thinking here, because I'm like, you could have had the scene end with Abby just dragging Ellie into the rain and then fade to black, and we would have had the same information. Like, we know nobody here is dead except for Jesse. Hopefully not Tommy, but nobody's dead now that we haven't seen die. There's nobody in this theater that they would kill off screen. So I'm not I'm not anticipating. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the first episode because what's gonna happen? And in the first episode, the next season gonna be a flashback anyway. How many? And we gonna get 3 episodes of Seattle Day 1, 2, and 3 before we even get back to this moment. So I just, to me, this was more insulting than anything. Because it was like, here, y'all gonna watch next week. Y'all gonna watch next year anyway. We'll give y'all any old kind of ending.
Will we? Will we though? Don't not so fast. Don't think that's for shows like Ashley said. It takes you a minute to go off that cliff, and I always stand by what I stand by. Normally, season 4, season 5 is where shows go to die. You have really good, solid 1, 2, and 3 seasons. When your base is there, then that's when you can pull this foolishness. We've only gotten 1 season, and I'm not so sure with how this season was executed that it would only be the first 1, 2, or 3 episodes. How they're acting, it might be the whole damn season of just Abby and Seattle and the Seraphites and maybe a little Jeffrey and some wolves and us trying to get into her narrative and why she is the chosen and the also important, and why her arc is, on par with Ellie and what she's supposed to mean for humanity. They can leave that on the ground. But yeah, I was like, why? If you take this ending and try to coast that for a whole however many episodes, and then maybe towards the end of it, we see Abby's fate and what happened in that theater, you're insane. It has to be exceptional to come back from this. And right now, it's not looking so exceptional. I have no stock in Abby. I could care less. I don't. A formidable leader, and if it all falls, as long as Abby's still standing, the people are okay. I'm not there with her, not even a little bit. I'm not invested in her enough to want to know her history or her importance. I don't care. How we met her on that trash can lid in those first 2 episodes, it was garbage. It was garbage. And I don't know. I can't say that I, maybe wouldn't return out of curiosity, but I want to talk about this. No, it needs to be really, really good. It needs to be something outstanding to go, okay, we're back in the good graces of why we love the show. Now we're cooking. This is nothing like season 2. Unless it's going to be that, I could give a damn about Seattle Day 1. Quana, do you care about Seattle Day 1?
No, I don't. Especially the way that the season was filmed. And I was just thinking, Joel should have been, what is this season? This is episode 7, right? Joel should have been episode 5 Kill Joel episode 5. Give us a little flashback, make us be more in our feelings episode 6. Boom. They could have rushed through nothing that we got this season, where since Ellie has been on the run, has given us anything that we really needed to have this season. And even teasing the Seraphites and the wolves, for them to not actually have anything come to fruition with that, we could have gotten that in the next season. They could have found little ways to tease it, have her come up on the dead bodies, but we didn't really need to see that. And it was a waste of Jeffrey Wright's time. So now I don't care about Seattle Day One, because what does it matter? What does it matter what they've been doing the last 3 days on the opposite end of this? And none of that matters realistically, because they're still not at the battle for the Seraphites and the wolves. We still don't know what's going on. Like, none of that really matters. Even that feels like it's going to be filler. It just feels like it's going to be filler. So I would much rather know just start where we are right now. Just start where this episode picked up, and then let us get to wherever we got to get to for that battle to take place, because it was a wash. And I know that they did this because we're going to be starting the season, I guess, through Abby's POV. They want us to care. But I kind of think it would have, just like in the game, I think it would have worked better if we just woke up in Abby's POV and we're kind of like angry about it, right? We're kind of ticked off about it because we just watched her kill Joel, and then we just watched her get into it with Ellie, and we don't know what her motivation is. And then if you're going to give us the flashback, then give us the flashback and let us unpack her motivation that way. But how we've done it, okay, fine. Yeah, we know why she killed Joel, whatever. But I really don't care about nothing that's been happening in Seattle for the last 3 days. I don't.
Well, from what they said, that's what the game does. When she goes and kills Joel, she doesn't reveal her motive or anything. She just does it. And if you're not a game player, I wouldn't have been the wise. I'd be like, why the hell did she get? That could have been a whole mystery. That would have led me into a third season. I really want to know why she killed Joel. Like, who the hell is she, and why was she so damn mad? They took that away too. I don't know. Ashley?
No, like I said in my title, this is the last time they'll play with me. Because here's the thing, and thank you for a Cosby Show reference, Tyra. We need them more. I don't know why we don't reference the Cosby Show more, because what Tyra said was profound, and I'm going to make it really short and sweet here. She is referring to an episode where Vanessa gets engaged to Dabnus Bricky, okay? And they bring him in, and Dabnus is a good man. Cliff loves him, all that, right? This is what the show did. They gave us season 1. It was cooking. We loved it, everything about it, right? And then season 2 came, and they presented it on a trash can lid, just like Vanessa presented Dabnus to the Huxtable family, right? And they say, it's like putting a steak on here with the onions, the mushrooms, all of that, but you gave it on the trash can lid. Who wants to eat that? And so what I'm going to take from that is, go to hell. You played with my heart. You played with my emotions. This is like a bad man, all right, who wined and dined you. He love bombed you for a whole season, for a whole 10 episodes. Yeah. Then you came to a second 2 because you wanted to give him some play, because now we're getting serious. Now I might give you some of this nani, right? And he plays in your face so bad that you can never go back. I will never go back. I could give a damn if it's a flashback, if it's a dream, if it is a delusion, if she's really in an altered state and in another dimension. I could care less. I will listen to the reviews from afar. If it's cooking, I can't lie, because if there's a bag in it, I will show back up. But I will not, by choice, gladly return for a season through. Tyra, do the quote. What Maya say? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. They showed us who they were, and I don't want it.
Believe them the first time, and still I rise. Dumb. Are you here for the flashback season, or just Seattle Day One at all?
No. I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna watch it because it's but more process of elimination, just because there's not enough supply to meet the demand of like cool, good, high quality, high budget sci-fi shows. So I'm gonna watch it because it's gonna be the only thing I can watch at the time. And maybe they'll turn it around, And I didn't hate the show as much as I didn't hate the season as much as the rest of the panel. So there'll be hopefully something in there that'll keep me going.
Dom, you letting them hold you hostage?
You said,
You said that if y'all press those goodie bags, make sure I get some of that Last of Us merch because I'm not with them. You see, I'm not with them.
no, this is good. I was looking and I was curious. I'm like, they gave the writers on this show are the correct is Neil Druckmann, who did the game, which is tenuous at best. And then you got Craig Mazin, who did do Chernobyl, which I love Chernobyl, but every other credit he got is a scary movie, and I'm like, I get why y'all feel it's inconsistent, and I got my complaints about the first half of the season. I do think after when did we get the flashback episode, the birthday episode? Was that 2 episodes ago? Yeah, so I think the last 2 episodes, this episode and the last 2 episodes, I'm a little more. But I think this episode and the previous one are ones I'm a little bit more positive on. But this season as a whole has been a significant more mixed bag than the first season. And how the hell? I mean, sorry, but I know that in every zombie show, in every zombie story, it's always the thing you got to be scared of is the people. So I get that, but the zombies still here though, ain't they? They didn't take a day off. They didn't forget to renew their union card. Like they can still show up for work. Like we then spent all the quarter set money on this. We couldn't get nothing. Oh well, okay.
They showed up some pipes. They showed us some pipes, and we ain't seen nothing else about them pipes.
It's still cooking. You got those spores. You got traces of it. That's all you needed. And I think maybe it's like, no, y'all need to shift and now be worried about it being airborne. But now we're going to go back and be day one Seattle, and then okay, whatever.
Yeah.
When it's still trapped down and concealed, we probably don't even know about it then. But y'all, that was The Last of Us. We're gonna take a little break, a little commercial break, and then tell you guys what we have coming up and where you can come support us. Every other Sunday, Ashley and I have a movie marathon. This Sunday, we will be having a movie marathon. It's called Gangsters with Guns. It starts in the afternoon and ends whenever you guys say it does. If you would like to join us, be sure to go hit the links and get with us Sunday. I'm going to run this and we're going to be right back. Go subscribe to some folks. We would love to have
It's going down. Well, I'm a cat toe, just a holy on your damn street. Stomping, jumping, pumping, every corner off in this damn thing. Throwing the balls, I'm back these soldiers, screaming and saying from they know the where we start. This is where we make them in the flow. Ain't no game off in this thing. We get deep off in your party. Crime on get it started. And with niggas be the hardest. So if a nigga come and run they mouth just like a hoe, punch the bed up in his load and stomp his ass out the
yeah, we nucky and bucky and ready to fight. I bet ya I'ma throw them with the way that's left in the one.
Don't give you up, what I do, what I do.
All right, and we are back. Quana, per usual, I'm going to come to you first. Let the people know what you got going on.
Right now, I am in the thick of The Handmaid's Tale and the show finale. Woo, child, the show finale comes on tonight at midnight. So I will be dropping my thoughts on the finale for that. I also have promised to review Forever, and I have Wicked Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're watching the Night of the Living Dead. And Thursday, Throwback Thursday, we are watching Jumanji. There you go.
Good stuff. Yes, girl. Jumanji. Actually, we're gonna watch Jumanji. Dom, what do you have going on?
Oh, I got this week we got Black Friday. It's Black Movie Friday. So I'm gonna talk about black movies that don't nobody talk about. Thursday, I'm going early 2000s movie. So I'm gonna pick a movie from the early 2000s. We're gonna talk about that. And yeah, and then I'm gonna be on TikTok making people mad. So come on over to TikTok too, because they mad. They mad. But you're always mad when I'm right. It's okay. I just be right.
What black movie do you have coming up, Dom? I'm curious.
It's one that I haven't seen before. So but it's called Exhibiting Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Oh God.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so I'm gonna talk about it, and we gonna talk about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Ashley, what about you?
Yeah, don't forget, immediately following this live, we have another live where we'll be talking Gerard Carmichael's new comedy special that came out on Saturday. Tomorrow, I will be dropping the series finale review for The Handmaid's Tale. And we have The Wire, where we'll be finishing up season 4, hopefully, and maybe starting season 5. And, Wednesday nights are for Insecure. And we have some other cool stuff on the schedule. So please make sure that you're subscribed to everyone on the panel and make sure you have the notification bell hit so you don't miss a thing.
All right. So I don't know if you guys have seen Sinners. This your sub, Ashley?
We haven't seen you for a long time, but it's so good to see you. And yes, we did watch Sinners and we did cover them. We actually have 2 live videos out about Sinners, one comparing it to Dusk Till Dawn, which is like a live watch situation, and then an actual review. So yeah, definitely go check those out, boo.
But as Ashley said, we have something following this. So I am going to leave you guys with the watch along, the members only watch along that we have every single Saturday. It is Ashley's turn this week. This is what she picked. If you want to be a part of that, be sure to become a member of the Struggle or the Sweet Peas. And we will see you guys next time. Heading out, please leave below what shows you guys are watching and what maybe we could potentially put here on our Monday. Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much.
And no gamma rays either. I don't care if she's blind, fat, no teeth, one leg and a kickstand. I don't know, tell them what they want to hear. Lie your butt off, man.
You wish you had hair like this. Girl, you weren't even born with blue eyes. That's right. Blue contact lenses. Right, they're just gel. I've been watching you. Look at Julian. You're not slick. If that was true, he wasn't much to look at. What do you gentlemen want to do? Kill each other? No.